Welcome to Rock and Roll Odd and Interesting, where we explore some of rock and roll's craziest stories. Thanks for tuning in. Today's story is about a song. But what song is it? A song that's associated with the end of summer. Now there's been hundreds of songs written about the end of summer or the summertime blues, but this one's specifically special and I believe sticks out. This song is The Boys of Summer by Don Henley. Before this song was the song we know and love today, it almost didn't happen. So stay tuned to see how Don Henley, drummer of the Eagles, and Mike Campbell, guitarist for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, teamed up to create this masterpiece. For today's story, it brings us back to 1980, where Don Henley and the Eagles had broken up. Truly a band filled with superstars, it was no surprise that Henley wanted to go on his own to record a record. And in 1982, he did just that. In 1982, I Can't Stand Still was released, going up to number 24 on the US charts. But there was one song in particular that really caught the eye of the world, showing what Don Henley could do. This song was Dirty Laundry. Following the success of that album, it was time for Henley to get back in the studio. Bring in 1983. Now in the early 80s, Mike Campbell had received a drum machine. It was one of the very first drum machines ever built. This is the Lynn drum machine. And with that drum machine, he started putting together little samples and bits and pieces of what would become The Boys of Summer. He had a 4-track player, which he used to record, and one night borrowed a synthesizer, on which he started putting together the melody for Boys of Summer. And once he had that, he decided to stay up all night, start adding guitar parts to it, and other layers to the song, until he was satisfied. And just like that, Mike had created what would become The Boys of Summer. But how did Henley get his hands on that? One night, Mike decided to show his demo to Jimmy Iovine and Tom Petty, and they both agreed that the song was a little bit too jazzy for what they were trying to do with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because at that time, Tom Petty was working on his Southern Accents album. But that all changed a mere week later, when Jimmy decided to call up Mike. Now Jimmy had worked for Interscope Records, a pretty famous record company in the 80s, making songs for Stevie Nicks, Tom Petty, and U2 and other famous bands. And that's how he knew that Don Henley was looking for a song for his second solo album. Jimmy let Henley know this, and they set up a time for Mike to come over and bring his demo, which he recorded on a cassette. And believe it or not, this was Mike's first time meeting Don Henley. While at Henley's house, it said Mike popped in the cassette and played it for Don. And while the song was playing, Don put his head down and just listened. No nodding, no nothing. Mike at first thought that Don hated the song, so he left, and on his way home, he got a call from Henley. Don said that he just wrote the best song he's done in 10 years, and this meant it was time to hit the studio. And this is where the song almost didn't happen. After playing all the guitar licks off the top of his head, Mike Campbell decided to bring his drum machine down to the studio with the cassette to play it. But there was a problem. The drum machine kept showing an error, and this had all the kick and snare patterns along with the synthesizers recorded onto it. And he tried it over and over, and by some miracle, it worked all of a sudden. Having the song back and able to hear, it gave them time to record the song and figure out how they liked it. But Don Henley decided he wanted to change the key of the song. But that wasn't the end of the problems. As they were mastering the track, Mike happened to look over and see that the whole analog tape was peeling apart. But someone took the time and glued on every little strip to get the tape back in order. And they were able to play it one more time through, and that's the record you hear today on the radio. Now changing the key was a smart thing to do on Henley's part. Changing the key allowed him to sing and push different vocal ranges of the song. One thing the Eagles really liked to do. It said Don was so excited coming home from the studio, he had the music up loud, and they hit a curb and almost wrecked his new Porsche. The song officially came out on October 26, 1984. It hit number 1 in the US on the Billboard charts, and the rest is history. And this song just proves that sometimes it is worth it to stay up all night trying out new things. And that's all I got for you guys today. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.